Kenyans are still awaiting the results of Tuesday's presidential election. The poll was characterised by a low turnout. The Electoral Commission says it's verifying results forms at the country's national tallying centre in Nairobi. Provisional results show a tight race between the front runners, those being William Ruto and Raila Odinga. The electoral body has 7 days after Election Day to declare the result. Well, for more on this, let's cross to our SABC News East Africa correspondent, Sarah Kimani, who's, of course, been tracking that election for us. A very good afternoon, Sarah. What is the latest?
Well, the latest is that the Electoral Commission has now started announcing results from the constituencies, but it is a painfully slow process because they are waiting for the polling clerks to bring the forms to Nairobi, and so that has been going on throughout the night and partly throughout today. It looks like the earliest Kenyans can know who will be their new president is probably tomorrow morning. There have been claims of rigging from both sides. There's also anxiety because earlier television stations were doing their own independent tallies, but now that has stopped, and so people are having to rely on the painfully slow process coming out of the National Tallying Center.
So how does this compare to previous presidential elections in terms of how quickly the results were brought in?
Well, in terms of how the results were brought in, it is still as slow as the previous elections. The only thing that people are now betting on is that this one seems to be more transparent because the IEBC has opened the portal where they are putting in all the forms and all the results from all the polling stations. So if you wanted to do your own tally, then you can be able to do it. However, you're talking about 46,229 polling stations. So you would have to download all those forms and then try and tally them. And that could probably be one of the reasons why local media stations here had started doing it. And they had reached up to 6 million votes. But at some point at night they stopped, and we still have no proper explanation as to why they stopped. Some people saying that their portals were hacked and they could not be able to continue, that there was a cyber attack. Others saying, the media houses themselves, the executives saying that the people who are doing the tallying got tired and they had to take a break. But it is also bringing in a lot of anxiety because people are worried that maybe something could be happening at the back end. But like I said, this time it is more transparent, and the IEBC is trying to update Kenyans at every hour, so making it a little more more informative than before.
Yeah, so when you're speaking to experts there on the ground, analysts and so on, what's the idea behind the low voter turnout? Are people not really interested anymore in the political announcements and proclamations that are made by these politicians?
It's because of the promises that have been made. They're the same promises. So when they look at this candidate and these candidates, the promises are the same, just that the people making the promises are different. They also say that they have had the same names on the ballot papers for more than 20 years now. The politics of Kenya has not changed. The only thing that changes is the alliances. So you find that in the previous election, Raila Odinga was in a different alliance as he is now. He's currently being backed by Uhuru Kenyatta, whom he fought in an election last year, I mean in 2017. William Ruto was on the same camp with President Uhuru Kenyatta. So people are saying we are voting for the same people, just that they are in different political coalitions. There's also the cost of living is very high here. A lot of people would rather be at work than queue to vote. Indeed, Tuesday was a public holiday, but a lot of people preferred to stay at home. Now, the process is taking too long. Shops are still closed. Businesses are still closed. The people who are casual laborers are already complaining that they are hungry because they depend on hand to mouth in terms of their earnings. So many people would want to see this concluded very quickly, including the elections. And that's why many of those we spoke to, especially young people, say they see nothing in it for them.
Indeed. All right, Sarah, thank you very much. My colleague there, Sarah Kimani, she's our East Africa correspondent.